This is Jerry with the Dal Chess Club, and I'm here with...
Paul, I'm one of the contestants of the Dalhousie Championship.
Nice. So we're going to go over his round 2 game against Michelle Zhang.
Yeah. Ideally, I would have liked to review maybe a game where I actually scored, and there was only one of those, and the notation is not available anymore.
Yeah.
So let's just look at my most spectacular loss, probably, of this tournament. So I'm playing against Michelle Zhang in round 2, and so I'm an e4 player. So This is what I do. And
we should probably switch the board around.
Yeah.
To show what you were doing.
And we're in the Caro-Can here, advanced variation, and this is the line not many people play, but something that I just looked into and started playing a little bit a couple of years ago when I was getting back into chess. I always kind of against the Caro, I just played, by gut feeling. But when I started like relearning and getting back into tournament chess a few years ago, I decided that I'll play this less known line, which is the Nanshirov attack, also known as the van der Wiel attack. It's a pretty crazy variation. You basically give away the center for like maximum initiative and hopes of attack, so it's getting very sharp, as you can see here. Yeah, computer suggests to just swap off those bishops. This is not what I'm doing in the van der Wiel. That's not the idea.
Wow.
You just go straight for attack. Then you put in like a sort of positional move, being able to attack the bishop by various means. Yeah, normally c5 would be played in that position, which would then automatically prompt h4. So here's the first inaccuracy that I've done. With h6 played, knight f4 would have been actually the best move here. Because since c5 isn't played yet, there is actually no rush to do, to push up that pawn right away. However, this is what I did. And okay, c5 is now finally coming. h5, maximizing the space advantage. And then following up with bishop e3. And yeah, the problem with this line is the way I played it now. I know that f4 is coming, and that's a crucial move in this position to secure the center, because my center is about to fall apart due to the c5 lever that black has here. So I know I have to play f4, but I'm kind of missing one tempo to do it in the most efficient way. So after knight d7, queen e2, knight e7, and I'm playing f4 now, which a couple of moves ago it was definitely better than it is now. So computers suggest to just trade off the c5 pawn and calm down the situation. I went instead for further escalation with pointing my bishop towards the d5 pawn and then opening all up. So now, it's getting very tactical here. Lots of potential kind of combination tactics going on. Michelle played it well. She stayed cool, just traded some pieces, and then made this positional move here. And here's probably the biggest mistake of the whole game. After being a little wary, after calculating various lines over the last 5 moves, I was a little rushed here. So the key actually to the safety of my king and my whole position is to keep that h7 bishop at bay, because as soon as right now, as it's still locked down, it kind of limits its efficiency. Of course, I can't prevent black from eventually opening that line by taking the pawn on f5. However, at least I get something in return then, because I can get the d5 pawn and open up the center that way and take control of the center. But doing what I did, Black gets the best of both worlds, gets to activate that h7 bishop and also secure the center at the same time. So here, I was thinking about that move, short castle. It looks crazy. Would have probably been still a tad better than what I actually ended up playing. I went for the long castle, which is problematic for various reasons. And now it's kind of, it's already a difficult position here to find a good move. Good moves here weren't really natural. I found one that certainly didn't help. And now the bishop on h7 is kind of starting unfolding all of its power, pointing at c2, which becomes kind of a thematic problem and kind of the bane of my existence here in this remainder game. So you can see I'm kind of trying to still trade it off, but there are lots of problems here. One of them is that all sorts of queen pins on g5 are always a problem. So I'm taking a preventive step against that. And here, I'm getting slowly in time trouble, miscalculated. So here, originally, I was looking at that line and I'm like, okay, she can't take because I take on, she can't take on e5 because I just take on h6. And then potentially get some sort of dangerous attack, even if she takes on h6, I take on e5. However, I was just talking about the pin. Well, here it is again, right? If I do that, my queen just gets pinned with bishop g7. So that all doesn't work out. So I had to let that pawn go for free. And now kind of, destiny takes its course, and I'm falling apart. And pretty deserved loss. That was the end of it. Yeah, it's what happens with strong opposition like this one here in the tournament. A couple of inaccuracies and you're gone.
Yeah, but I mean, that has been the favorite opening I've seen all tournament. I love how you just attack and attack. That is all I do in my chess.com games.
Yeah.
But if you had any advice for like newer players, I know you were once a newer player yourself, as we all are, what would you say?
Well, you need to learn a little bit of everything. Like there is no one single thing that you need to learn. You need to tactics, I guess, is maybe for new players like one of the most important things to really quickly gain that skill to recognize pattern and see tactics on the board.
Definitely.
That's one of the biggest ones. But other than that, everything's equally important, whether to look at openings, end games, middle games, strategic pieces. I think the most important thing for beginners is to play tournaments. Like that's you can't get better unless you actually play tournaments. Tournaments is where all the magic happens. It's only over the board that you get this intensity where you literally feel like you're dying when you don't find the best move on the board or you lose. So it is it feels completely different level of stakes than if you're playing online, and so you start understanding the game better if you put in so much effort, and then you get better, right? So you don't really get that with like online blitz or anything. You just keep to play those tournaments, and it doesn't matter what your skill level is. You will always see how good you are and find ways to improve if you play classic tournament chess over the board.
Very true. Very true. How do you prepare for these higher level tournaments?
Yeah, so in a closed invitational tournament such as this one, you actually know your opponents ahead of time.
Yeah.
So you just look in the database. There are various databases online where you can look at games that your opponents are playing, and you just peek which lines their favorite ones are in the opening, and you try to prepare something against it.
Yeah.
In this case, for instance, I was looking at what Michelle is playing. I knew she's a Caro-Kann player, but no one ever has played this rare knight c3 move against her. So I didn't know how she would respond. So that was part of the problem here.
Yeah. how do you think people should prepare for like more general tournaments then? Because if you don't know who exactly you're playing until the day of the tournament when you get there, how do you think you'd prepare for one of those?
Yeah, so in terms of like long-term preparation, there's not much you can do other than improve your game, like just work on all of your skills, right? End game, middle game, openings, the ones that I mentioned. But what I find helpful, like actually on the day of the tournament, is just, do some like light brain exercise. Like don't tire yourself out with like playing blitz or whatever, but do a couple of, do like 5 puzzles in the morning or something, just to get that brain into the chess mode.
Yeah.
And that's definitely helpful.
I like that. That's all I do nowadays. Puzzles.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things. But yeah, no, that was Paul Deck.
All right.
We're done.
Thanks.